Hey Juventini, welcome back to the All Juve cast. I'm Alberto, and we are bringing to you the first edition of a tactical breakdown. And this one is going to be just ahead of our match against Zenit in match week 3 of the Champions League. Now, we always try to fulfill our subscribers and fans' needs and requirements for the content they want to see. So it's been tasked to us to basically come up with a tactical breakdown prior to the matches. And this is going to be the first one, and we hope that you enjoy. So, we're going to take a look at Zenit, Juve's opponent tomorrow, and we're going to look at a couple of different ways that they play. All right. And this is very much going to depend on how they feel about the opponent. I'll let you guys decide how you think Zenit's going to approach Juve. Now we'll start taking a look at some still shots of moments through matches that Zenit has played and what they like to do and certain tendencies, and then we'll discuss how Juventus can possibly exploit them or what to possibly expect out of this matchup. Now we'll kick it off with this. This is just a still shot of one of the methods. This is Zenit's main setup. This is how they like to play most of the time. Are they going to be able to play this manner against Juventus in the Champions League? We've seen both so far based on the opponents, respectively, as they've faced Malmo and they've faced Chelsea. And each matchup was one of the two setups. So they mainly deploy a 3-4-3. Okay, that is their main method of playing and main setup. Zuba being at the top. However, Chelsea, against them, they did not do that, possibly anticipating that they were going to lose the possession battle. That is going to be the key to this particular matchup. The fact that they're at home is kind of the wild card in how they're going to approach Juventus, and the fact that Juve hasn't been strong in possession, and Max Allegri has talked about it week in and week out. Now, if we look at this particular still shot here, this is just where they like to cheat. And cheating based on, if you're looking at the fullback right at the bottom of the screen, okay, he likes to cheat and they like to play this main setup. What they do is they like to suck you into a little bit of a press, and they like to break the lines with a quick pass, and they've already got wingers or wing backs going. Okay. This being the case right here. This is how they like to play in the main 3-4-3. They like to get those guys moving, suck you into a bit of a press, and then attack fast. Okay, we're going to go to another slide here. This is the same attack where that player has already hit that wing back that's been in stride, and they're off to the races after sucking you into a little bit of a press. This is how they like to attack out of their main setup. Okay, and from here you could see it's almost going to be an odd man rush. They end up setting the ball long here. I believe they actually scored to finish this play off in league play. Now we'll go to another still shot here, and this is again them finding a quick pass, and they always have three in attack. Okay, they will always in their main setup have three guys that you'll be targeted that'll suck you in centrally, and they'll hope to get one of these top guys up here drifting and be able to catch it beyond. And that's another main part of their game that they like to do. As you see the run continue, they're coming at you. They always like to get deep and look and hit these trailing runs. Okay, so they like to get you to collapse, get deep down to the byline, and always hit these trailing runs. This one ended up in the back of the net as well. Another aspect to their game is, even if you're making it difficult somewhat, they have guys on the outside that aren't afraid to go 1v1. Okay, and again, he wins his 1v1, ends up deep. And what do? This one ends up in the back of the net too, as he's got a couple options in front. And they always look for that cutback pass. However, things change based on how the opposition plays them. All right. How can you attack Zenit? This one ends up in the back of Zenit's net. And again, if they're comfortable and they're attacking you in numbers, you must be quick to the counter. Okay. So this particular team, again, finding someone in the middle, their center forward ends up showing for the ball. Okay. He ends up winning it, getting it over to an attacker. This wing back on the far post that you can see right here ends up making his run, and they take it to Zenit. They end up finding the goal here. Okay. Juve had an attack that was quite similar. If Zenit prepares to come at Juventus with their main formation 3-4-3, and they want to get the majority of the possession and they want to try and attack us like that and suck us into a press, we can counter it like that. This is a still shot from Juve, essentially doing the exact same thing against Torino, breaking the lines with Chiesa here. Rabiot already making the run out there, and he was found on this one. It didn't end up in the back of the net as McKennie ended up missing a great opportunity. But those opportunities will be there for Juventus. The biggest question is going to be, what do we expect out of Zenit? Is Zenit going to come at us in their 3-4-3, or are they going to put up the five-man wall at the back with the low block and look to counter, which would then take Zuba out of the game? Now, again, Zenit also does like to fire shots from range. They can really attack you in a lot of different ways, and they always force your defense to make decisions. Now, the only time they really don't, again, has been when they faced Chelsea and they went into that low block, because the 3-4-3 can easily turn into that 5-3-2, right? And the biggest question mark going into this one, how will Zenit face Juventus? Possession. We talked about that earlier. Possession will be key. What do we expect out of Juventus? Now, Max Allegri had his press conference today, and he said essentially that Juventus, or Artur, he says Juventus struggle in possession. Artur will, of course, help this. However, he does not know if Artur will start, but he will be a part of this matchup. The latest starting 11 that's been reported for Juventus is Szczesny in goal, Danilo, Bonucci, De Ligt, and Sandro, with Quadrado, McKennie, and Locatelli and Bernardeschi across the middle, and Kulusevski and Morata playing up top. Possession. Locatelli is the main man in the middle of the park there in terms of possession. If we lose that possession battle, that could open things up for Zenit. However, with the players we're deploying, we can easily hit them on counter strikes. Bernardeschi and Quadrado being on the outsides gives you those opportunities to make some of those attacks, like we saw the one in that still shots that hurt Zenit when they got pressed too far forward. And here you show it with Chiesa essentially being in there. Now, Morata could easily be that key player. As we go back a few slides to the attack that we saw here, and this would essentially be Morata showing. Quadrado and, of course, Bernardeschi can be on the outsides and have more than enough pace and physical ability to get there in those positions and hurt Zenit. So if Zenit wants to get into that game, Juventus would have the personnel to exploit them. And that may also be the determining factor of Zenit shutting things down and maybe deploying that low block. However, them being at home, it's tough to say whether or not they're going to do it. But yeah, as far as the tactical breakdown goes, we know what they like to do. They like to get deep. They like to attack you, get deep, and look for the cutbacks. They are not afraid to shoot from range, and they are actually quite strong on set pieces and aerial battles. Something that has been a bit of a sore spot for Juventus, so we'll have to be aware of that. Again, however, the key there would be if Zuba ends up playing for Zenit. Will he be playing? He's not in the projected lineup as of right now. So that might be a sign that Zenit is looking to play the counterattack game with us, in which case I would, well, you got to almost pick your poison. Do you want them to deploy that low block, which would be very, very challenging for us? Because honestly, if Chiesa is not going to see the pitch, that's one less guy that's extremely strong on 1v1s, which would become very, very critical in that particular game if they're going to deploy low block. Quadrado then becomes extra valuable. But again, if they're going to deploy low block, we'll have plenty of opportunities to expose them. Kulishevsky would have to be on. He would have to be on his game if that's the case. So I hope you enjoyed this brief little overview of the tactical breakdown on what could happen and what we could see tomorrow with Zenit and Juventus. Again, it's just a small, small little piece, just giving you an idea of how Zenit plays, what to expect. And again, Juve, we're all very, very familiar with what Juve will do. But again, it'll come down to the starting lineup and what Max Allegri believes we're going to see out of Zenit. One way or another, I do expect Juventus to get the 3 points. We're going to see a strong lineup, even in the lineup that I projected today, or read you the projected one today. That is still a very, very strong lineup, regardless of the Derby d'Italia coming up on Sunday. I expect Juventus and Max to go hard after this 3 points, as it's going to be a big key step into getting through to the qualification. Again, thanks for checking out the video. Like it, subscribe to the channel for all your Juve content, and don't forget to be here tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, as we have our match day live, where we're going to go through all the fun news build-up, that probable lineups, and of course, we always have fun with trivia and our predictions. Make sure you join us then. As always, Forza Juve, Fino alla fine. Ciao.